I've re-recorded this video about 3 times now because every time I recorded, every time I finished, I was unhappy with the final product. And that's because at the end of the day, what I was doing was reviewing the game. When, on the contrary, what I wanted to do was just tell you guys why Nikke is the best gacha game that I have played in 2024. That's it. I don't want to go into detail as to what Nikke is. If you don't know what Nikke is, then you're missing out. But at the same time, this might persuade you to go ahead and play it. Now I know what you're thinking. Stix, the reason you like Nikke is because you're a fan of very cultured, very degenerate waifus. Yeah, that is one of the main reasons that I like Nikke. At the end of the day, I like looking at D-Killer waifu. I like looking at Modernia with my shirt on. I like looking at Red Hood. I like looking at Blanc and Noir, especially with their hot spring outfits, because those are something else. I worked hard for those outfits and they were worth every second that I put into acquiring them. I love the waifus in this game. I love looking at their portraits. I love looking at their 3D models. I love looking at them in battle. I love their unique personalities. And I also love their assets. Every single thing about the character designs in Nikke are flawless. Character designs are one of the focal points that every single person that I know that plays Nikke focuses on. I've asked guys, I've asked girls, why do you play Nikke? And they're always like, because of the big booba hot waifus. And yeah, at the end of the day, that is predominantly one of the main reasons people play it. It's why I play it. I also play it for the story. The narrative in Nikke is phenomenal. When I started playing this game, I had no idea it was going to be as good as it is. I never anticipated the story being so deep, so complex, so thrilling. They somehow managed to condense a very riveting story into something that isn't a convoluted mess, which is something that gacha games typically tend to fall victim to. And that isn't to say Nikke doesn't also fall victim to that occasionally, doesn't leave you wanting to skip certain scenes, you don't have to read it, or in the case of Nikke, you don't have to listen to it because Nikke is fully voice acted. The entire story is voiced in English and is one of the better English dubs out there. I think there are a grand total of like 4 gacha games that I can name off the top of my head that have exceptional English dubs. Nikke, Reverse 1999, Honkai Star Rail, Genshin Impact. That's it. Now, before I go any deeper into this, I want to take a moment to thank my incredible patrons over on Patreon. Allow for me to continue to do dedicated videos like this every single day. You guys are incredible. Almost as incredible as some of the waifus in Nikke. And I cannot thank you all enough for the support. The story and the characters are absolutely incredible. If it were just a waifus, then I probably would have dropped it like I did Apocalypse. If it were just a narrative, then I probably would have dropped it like I did Reverse 1999. But these are 2 of several reasons that I love Nikke. Another reason is the fact that they respect your time. Not only can you just log in for 10 minutes a day for 7 days straight, doing nothing but your dailies for an entire month, and then just continue from where you left off, but you're also rewarded for logging in every single day. You're gifted with tons of free currency. You're gifted with tons of pulls. Events allow for you to stockpile free pulls. Events allow for you to stockpile premium currency. They allow for you to stockpile, and you're rewarded with resources that allow for you to boost your characters. Now, I'm a very casual player. I don't typically participate in PvP in gacha games because I find it to be an abhorrent experience. I don't particularly like the raids in Nikke, the solo raids, because it's just a waste of time in my opinion. It's not something that I really find value in. Although I know there are a lot of people out there that are like, oh my god, Stix doesn't raid, he's not a real Nikke gamer. Shut the fuck up, I don't care. We all play what we want, we all consume the content that we want, but Nikke respects your time. They allow for you to accumulate and consume whatever you want an exorbitant amount of resources and premium currency. And if you log in during anniversaries, you're literally gifted hundreds of pulls. If you log in during events like the current one with Crown, like the one with Red Hood, and the other dozen or so that have happened that allow for you to directly control your character, you're gifted with even more. There are so many fun activities present in Nikke There are so many rewards that you accrue while participating in those fun activities in Nikke. But at the end of the day, none of this is anything you have to participate in if you don't want to. Characters, narrative, rewarding you for your time. There is this weird misconception that Nikke is an idle game. Yeah, it technically is. The vast majority of the early to mid game is done automatically. You don't need to control your characters. For the most part, as long as you have a team composition that synergizes well. So as an example, you have the new D-Killer waifu and Red Hood, or you have Tia and Naga, or you have Blanc and Noir, or you have Crown and Naga, Crown and Red Hood. Like, there are so many different team compositions that work well. As long as you have an effective team composition, you're not going to have an issue with the campaign, with the events, with the interception modes, anything. You can allow for the game to push through all the content automatically, but the game is difficult. So difficult, in fact, that you're actually required to play manually. There was this point at chapter, I think it was like 20 through 22 somewhere, I engaged with the big whale boss. Everyone that has played the game through chapter 20 knows the boss I'm talking about. I was stuck there for a month and a half. I couldn't push any further. I was overpowered. I had higher combat power than was necessary to complete it, but the AI just couldn't, for the life of itself, successfully defeat the boss. Even taking control manually, I couldn't do it. That was an issue with team synergy. I ended up remedying this. It took about a month and a half to successfully set up a team that could conquer the boss, but this is something that continues to become more prominent the more you play, and is made even more evident and apparent when you start engaging in the hard modes. When you start doing the EX mode bosses, you're required to manually play the game. So yeah, this is an idle game. This is a game that auto plays itself. I love playing with myself. I love playing the games myself. I love playing games myself. I love that Nikke allows for you to play yourself if you want to, or to let the AI play for you. But the thing that I enjoy and appreciate the most is that it prioritizes both. It allows for you to push through the boring or the normal average content without paying too much attention, unless you want to pay attention to the story. But then it rewards you and all but forces you to play for the more difficult content. People, for whatever reason, believe that this is an auto game, and it's not. And I'm glad that it's not. Hot characters, incredible narrative, rewarding you for your time, and a game that requires you manually play it, while also allowing for a lot of it to be done auto. These are the reasons that I like Nikke, because I can log in for 10 minutes each day, 7 days a week, not have to do more than that. I can play other games, Punishing Grey Raven, Azure Lane, Guardian Tales, and not have to worry about investing more than 10 minutes and not having to worry about falling behind. That is something that I appreciate. At the end of the day, Nikke just excels at everything that I personally like, and I couldn't think of a better game right now that I could be spending my money and my time in. Now, if Nikke is not a game that you're at all interested in, no, absolutely no problem. Got you covered with 2 different videos on screen right now that might be more up your alley.